And with our discussion here in studio, we're talking with the governor of Tana River County, Dr. Dado Godana, and we are getting an update on what's happening in that particular county. Governor, the question that has been going around on social media, elaborate pictures of flooding in the county. Is it rainfall? Is it water from another location? What is your view as someone who has served the people there for a long time, not just in this role?
Let me explain to you properly, because the people don't really understand Tana. Geographically, we are a unique county where we have one of the biggest rivers in Africa, the River Tana, and flowing across the county from north to south. And then we have so many other crisscrossing rivers, seasonal rivers, from the Yatta Plateau down to the lowest, which is the river. Those ones run across the county again. So whenever there's rainfall, you would find that most of these seasonal rivers
burst their banks.
But they not at all times, but for rains like the ones we had, all the rivers burst their banks, cutting off all the roads in the hinterland. Then if you go to the river, you'd find that the river, the U-shaped area of the river actually begins from Tana down to the delta.
Okay.
So the floodplains are wider as you go
on both sides.
On both sides as you go towards the south. So I told you that the last time we had floods of this kind was 1961, and from that time floods have been happening, but not to this magnitude. To us, floods are actually a very big blessing. They're not
a blessing.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like it.
A big blessing, because that is what re-energizes the ecosystem. Remember, it's a riverine environment. So by the overflow of waters beyond the flows, then the oxbow lakes
get filled up again.
They get filled up again.
So do you say
fish species.
And if I can just point you to the screen, you can actually see that just in front of you. This water you are saying is rain water mixed with the rivers?
Yes, exactly.
In a nutshell?
Yes.
Okay.
Rainwater coming in.
Rainwater coming in.
River water flowing down. Yeah.
So those who are saying that the flooding is the result of overflow from the hydroelectric power generation dams upstream, is there any truth?
Yes, very true. The first wave of floods did not have a really very serious impact on the people. The second wave came out of the opening of those dams, the two. That's when now we had serious.
So the dams got full up. Seven Forks and the others are up there.
Yes.
You've spoken to those who run the management, and they've confirmed, or it's your.
But they told us, it was announced.
Okay.
That we are going to open this dam here when we were in Kakamega. And so they opened the first one and then the other one. So that's when now we had serious impacts.
So this brought in a second wave of flooding.
Yes, a second wave of flooding. Now resulting to the kind of damages that we are experiencing. So it is that sum total of the rain plus the flooding plus the opening of the dams that brought in the situation that we are in today.
So are you holding anyone responsible, especially for the second wave, for that? Are you going to seek compensation for your people?
Let me tell you the problem with KenGen. Of course, it's KenGen.
Yes.
We know the purpose of the dams is to be able to generate power and for whatever. But for some time now, we had lost floods completely in Tana, because much of the waters were contained upstream. And so the riverine environment suffered greatly. I think your people went there, and I think they might have read that some of the indigenous trees, some of crops like mangoes and many other crops were actually dying off across the county from north to south. Most of the oxbow lakes dried up many years ago. A good example is one Malai in my Lenda in Tana River sub-county, and the other one is Shakababo in Tarasa.
And that's why you say you feel
Tarasa, which had never for 17 years had any drop of water in that lake.
So the floods, to some extent, for what you're saying, are a blessing.
Obviously, 100%.
But we know that people have lost their lives, which is why I want to take you back to the question I was asking, which is why don't you then seek compensation from your people from Kengen?
I don't want to come to there now.
You don't want to?
No, I don't want to come to there now.
But it is the question, Governor. And
but the point here I'm driving at is, when they are holding the waters, we don't see Kengen coming in to bring relief supplies. When there are floods, even today, there's no Kengen who has come in to say, sorry for this, let us do that.
Yes.
They're still going on with their programs.
Which is worrying.
As though nothing has happened.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe you don't understand what the loss of floods have costed us for years. That the food production in Tana went too low because the natural energy to the soils went too down. And so... Because
the water that normally would go through your land now is being held in...
And then irrigation through small pumps would not really impact large acreage of land. With natural flooding, you have the entire floodplain watered, and so it makes it easier for them to grow their crops in large numbers. Production of rice would do well in the Oxbow lakes, along the rivers where we have siltation done well. Of course, the environment recovers so well, and so many other things happen. That is what a riverine environment is supposed to be managed.
Year in, year out.
So, look at what has happened to us from the time when flooding was an issue. I'm not saying that flooding does not bring issues. It does bring issues. But from the time when we lost flooding, serious ones.
Because these dams were set up.
Good ones, not serious ones, but good ones. We have been fed by government. Always the relief supplies, Red Cross and all that. And especially after the dismal performance of the Bura and the Whole Irrigation Scheme. Remember, Whole Irrigation Scheme collapsed in 1989. It was revived in 2009. But from 1989 to the time of revival of Whole Irrigation Scheme to date, there has been no meaningful production of food.
And you blame it on the changes that have happened in the land?
No, also issues of management.
Issue of management is another one.
Issues of management.
I'm sorry if I look like I'm speeding you up. I actually think I get what you're saying.
I'm trying to tell you where we have come from. Before 1989, Whole Irrigation Scheme used to produce a lot of cotton, a lot of maize, a lot of groundnuts, a lot of many stuff. Even some rice was being grown there. Research on rice, on cotton, on sugar, on grapes was being done in Whole Irrigation Scheme. Even research on forestry, it was being done in Whole Irrigation Scheme. Curry was there in plenty and doing a lot of things. But from the time Whole Irrigation Scheme collapsed to date, even those institutions are not there. Kenya Forest Research Institute is not there. CAR is not there.
So they sort of packed up and...
They packed up and went.
Okay.
We are waiting for them. I have been going around to invite them back.
Okay.
Because of the trauma they had that time.
There's one question though, Governor, you still haven't answered. So you've stated clearly that there have been various issues, including the fact that there are dams upstream of your county. And I'm actually comparing with what I saw in Solai. Because I went there and I saw the situation there. My question is, Governor, legally, why can't you take this matter up for your people?
We will take the matter up. I'm not saying we will not take the matter
because
up.
If you're saying that what we are seeing on the screen partly is because of the dams upstream.
I'm not saying we will not take the matter up, but I'm saying part of the problem was caused by them. Of course, not with bad intentions.
But now we can clearly see the...
But we can clearly see what the effects. The effect of that. But I don't want to go there and for now.
Okay.
I want to concentrate on...
What is the food plan now for these people? These were farms.
Yes.
The pictures we are seeing. People had planted here.
Exactly.
In the next 6 months, I'm worried that you'll be declaring a famine with so much water there. What's the plan, Governor?
We had put measures ourselves to try and ensure that we improve on food security. As a county, we had set aside good money for the sector of agriculture. We had a plan to purchase pumps, solar-operated pumps, and input to supply to groups across the county. We are not there yet. We are yet to advertise those tenders for us to get them. Lucky enough, already there is flooding. So our priority now is on a supply of seeds and inputs, which the tender has already been advertised. And probably we're expecting this week we can be able to get some contractor to be able to supply that. Now the pumps might come later.
Okay.
Because now there are already floods. They'll come in the next phase. But let me tell you, for us to intervene in this thing is complex. The volume of humanitarian assistance that is required there is big, Wahiga. Let me explain. Of course, I've talked about the issue of the river, but assume you are the one to deploy water supplies to the towns, to the towns. Leave alone the affected, to the towns. You would obviously, and it is known, the taller water supply is just along the river. That's where it is. Garseni, the same. The small other projects would obviously be deployed there. With the floods, we already have lost some of them. The Garseni water supply has been submerged, and we have to wait until the water subsides, then we start probably. But again, the soils where this thing is deployed, you expect them to be so wet to the extent that they may not be able to hold. In fact, with Garseni, it might require to be moved out of there. So those also
are the challenges you can foresee.
Those are challenges that are.
Is the national government helping to the extent that you need, or not yet, or not enough?
Wait a bit. Then we have another small project in Makere.
Yes.
Same situation. Whole irrigation scheme, whole water supply has already been affected. The supply for the last few weeks has been minimal because some damage to it. The people of Bura, as we speak, are taking water from the canal. Bura irrigation scheme are taking water from the canal because the water pump that used to serve them also was submerged. Recovering it from there to be able to make it very operational is a hell. Kone, the water pump in Kone is also submerged because it is somewhere along one of the seasonal Laga Kokane. So trying to recover.
Yes. What's your recovery plan? And I think you've made it very clear what the issues are, and I think even as we show the picture. So what is the recovery plan now, Governor? Tell us, this is what you can expect to see from, because your people are watching. You
asked me about national government. The national government are doing a lot. We are together with the national government. In fact, they reacted positively when all of us went with members of parliament to make the first round. And when we made a cry to the deputy president, they gave us 4,500 bags of rice, and that is what has been being distributed to people, although it's minimal, and people were a bit complaining. The humanitarian demand is huge than what is available.
Okay.
We had sat with all stakeholders NDMA, Red Cross, World Food Program, national government, ActionAid, World Vision,
all the aid organizations.
Action Against Hunger, and we developed this report.
Okay.
Now you can see what this figure is saying.
70 million.
It is saying for us to be able to recover the humanitarian aid first in terms of food would take us 2.4
Is this report public knowledge, or it's still?
No, it's already
out there.
Yeah, it's already out there.
Okay, I hadn't seen.
It's already out there. It came out yesterday.
Okay.
Part of why we had to go there, we sit and was because we want to determine exactly what is the weightage of the recovery if we had to do it. Now, this is only for 3 months. According to this, it's just for 3 months. But for food aid alone, it would require 2.4 billion. 2.4 billion. That's only food for 3 months. We are not talking about relocating the people from where they were, because my thinking is that those people don't need to go back. Anything else can happen. We just need to move them out, settle them elsewhere, and then make plans for maybe a permanent settlement in the future.
Okay.
So in terms of now, you go to that one alone is another cost.
Okay.
You go to the food, of course, 2.2 billion. Then tell me how much money does Tana River County get in a financial year? And considering the debt that we have, because most of the counties inherited from the previous governments, if we had to pay debts today, we'd remain with a balance of 800 million. Comparing 800 million with this kind of demand, it's too heavy for us.
Okay. I clearly see, Governor, and you've pointed out quite clearly, there's a lot of challenges. Now it will call upon your administration to be very innovative. Yes. How they try and navigate through these challenges that you've come and explained to us. Yes. Governor, thank you so much. I can give you just 1 minute to make a final comment before we wrap up this discussion. Briefly, please.
Yeah, I think mine is just to call upon the national government and any other humanitarian partners to come with us in addressing the challenges there, and even in this recovery phase. Because looking at data, the poverty index of Tana has never fallen below 60.
Okay.
The last one the previous one of 2007 is saying that the index is 76.9%. The current one is 62.2%. Going by that index, it tells you that Tana is one of the most marginalized places. And because of inconsistencies in the production of the schemes, then it is becoming a challenge for us to be able to pick properly and move forward. And that's why over a period of years, we have been supported through relief supplies during famine, and now during this kind of a situation.
Okay. What is the status of the Galana Kulalu project, part of which is in your county? Was it affected by the flooding?
Partly, yes, because of probably the area of Kone, but on the other side of Galana River. But of course, the rain has been heavy for all the places.
Okay.
So I expect, I have never visited there, but I expect some of the places a bit.
So this scheme, which was meant to feed the people,
no, it will eventually, if it is properly managed. I hope it does not go the direction of Hola and Bura and the Tarda.
Do you have anything to show you as that? I mean, if you're saying the trend is that these projects begin this way and then die, do we have any hope in Galana then? If we had to look at the trend?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll take that as your last word. Thank you so much, Governor, once again.